My name is Laura Russell. I studied physics at UCC and now I'm an airline pilot for Aer Lingus. I don't think I'd be in my current role without having studied physics at UCC for a number of reasons. One of the biggest things it imparted to me was the ability to self-learn, to self-study. So when I eventually went on to study the airline transport pilot license exams, the amount of information, the volume of complex data that you have to absorb and then kind of present in an exam is staggering. So being able to use my physics background, that ability to take in large amounts of volume or large amounts of data and so on is extremely beneficial. And also just on a daily basis, like, you know, I need to have a solid foundation in meteorology, in air law, principles of flight, etc. And all of the key stuff that I learned during my physics degree, even down to basic algebra, that all comes into play on a daily basis in my job. I started studying physics in 6th year in secondary school. I actually came to it very late. And it was primarily some books at home that my parents had that I just was rifling through during the summer of 5th year into 6th year. And I had struggled with maths through secondary school, but somehow had like a mini breakthrough with it in 5th year, feeling that I actually really enjoyed it. Like the process of solving a mathematical problem was a very satisfying and wholesome kind of task. And when I had some success in that, you know, each time I was able to complete my maths homework, I was like, oh, this is really nice, this is kind of cool. And I found that I enjoyed it way more than English or Irish or French or the languages. It was over that summer, after just some extracurricular reading, I was thinking, goodness, this stuff is really interesting. I have a genuine passion for it. I find myself thinking about physics problems and topics, you know, outside of school. Like, that's surely a sign that I should go and study it. I was so excited to start physics in UCC for a number of reasons. One of the things that I was really looking forward to is the lab work, getting to design my own experiments and analyse that data. That was very thrilling. And I think as well, the idea that in first year you start with quite a broad range of subjects, and then you kind of whittle it down as the years go on to the stuff that you really, really have a passion for. That was quite thrilling to me, because I knew that out of those subjects in first year, one of them would kind of be the one that I wanted to pursue, you know. If you're going on to third level and you're considering studying physics, I would say go for it, because you're not pigeonholing yourself into any particular career. The careers are very wide and varied. And I would strongly encourage anyone pursuing physics to just study what you love and don't worry too much about where it will bring you, because it'll bring you somewhere, you know, and it's much better to be studying something you love and have a passion for than something you think that might bring you a prosperous career, because it's not about that. You need to be happy at the end of the day. So in my spare time, I'm an aerobatic pilot. So 5 days a week I fly the Airbus for Aer Lingus, and on my 3 days off I compete in competition aerobatic flying. Some people might think of this as stunt flying, stuff you see at an air show and so on, but the competition aspect of it involves competitors flying in a 1 kilometre cubed piece of airspace in front of judges placed on the ground who will mark you on your ability to precisely perform aerobatic manoeuvres. So you'll see things you recognise like loops and rolls and barrel rolls and so on, up to very, very complex things with 45-degree lines with different rolling elements, things called snap rolls and tail slides. We even fly our aircraft backwards when we're doing an aerobatic sequence. I've been doing this since 2006, and my first competition was in 2009 in England, and I remember very vividly coming second place, and the prize at the time was a Mars bar, which was the nicest tasting Mars bar I've ever had, and I've been competing ever since. This year I'm going to hopefully compete in the World Advanced Aerobatic Championships in Las Vegas, and in doing so I'm going to be the first ever Irish female aerobatic pilot to compete on a world stage. I think for me, UCC is actually just a beautiful piece of land. Like, it's such a lovely campus. I remember loving walking around between lectures in the green areas, the architecture. It's a fascinating place, you know. There's always something to look at and do there.